playing for money or keeping score is part of the game and really easy to learn. That's today's Daily Talk of the Tiles for July 5th, 2025. If you're watching this on Instagram, be sure to visit our YouTube channel and subscribe, and go to our website, modernmahjong.com, to sign up for our newsletter. Let's go over keeping score or making payment. Whether you play for actual coins or keep score, we highly recommend incorporating this part of the game. It ups everyone's game. Players are more thoughtful about discards, they play more strategically, and it's still fun. Let's see how you figure it out. Each hand on the card has a value next to that X or the C for exposed and concealed. This is considered the base value of the hand. At least one of the other three players pays double. That would be the player that discarded the winning tile. All players would pay double if the hand is counting as self-picked, and we're going to go several situations and explain what that means. Other than picking a tile for the win, what else is self-picked? If a player on their turn, after picking or calling and completing an exposure, does a joker exchange, and that joker, along with the tiles in that sloping part of their rack, gives them Mahjong, it's considered self-picked. Just to reiterate, that joker can't be added to a prior exposure. It has to be along with the tiles in the sloping part of the rack, gives them Mahjong. The other way it could be self-picked, besides this and picking from the wall, are if the player East takes 14 tiles at the beginning of the game and they have a win, that's a heavenly hand, or if they do great passing in the Charleston and at the end of the Charleston have an earthly hand. Those are also considered self-picked, so everybody would pay them double. When else is payment doubled? When a hand is jokerless at the win, so at the end of the game when someone wins, if their hand is jokerless, everybody pays double. It doesn't matter if there were jokers at one point, so you could actually make a player jokerless by exchanging their joker. What matters is what is there at the win. The only exception is the singles and pairs section, which by definition must be jokerless, so the score already takes that into account. They're doubled for self-picked in singles and pairs, but not jokerless. So here's some examples. If player A threw a tile and player B called the discard for the win, if the Mahjong contained jokers and it was a 25-cent hand, nobody pays double-double because there's jokers. Player A that discarded pays 50 cents, player C and D pay 25. What about if player A threw a tile, player B calls it for the win, it's jokerless, it's not singles and pairs. So here, player A would pay double for discarding and double again for jokerless, that's $1. C and D would pay 50 cents. Nobody here would pay a single value. Moving on. If player A threw a tile, player B calls the discard and has a singles and pairs win, no one pays double-double because it's singles and pairs, so no payment for jokerless. A pays double and C and D pay single. What if player B self-picks and it has jokers? No double-double. All three players pay double 50 cents. What if player B self-picks and it's jokerless and it's not in singles and pairs? Everybody, A, C, and D, all pay $1. What if player B has a self-pick, it's in the singles and pairs, so it is jokerless? No one pays double-double, but A, C, and D pay $1. They're doubling it for self-picked. What if there's a joker exchange for the win? Player B either picked or called a discard, they complete an exposure, they do a joker exchange, it's a 25-cent hand. So they won with a joker, so it can't be jokerless. A, C, and D all pay double because it's considered self-picked. The Mahjong League considers it because they say it's the last move before the win. So we simplified payment here. We created a visual. The full visual, which is coming up on the next slide, is in our Facebook page. We also have a link to it for you to get it. We hope you understand that this takes a lot of time for us to put this together and appreciate you sharing it in full and not cutting and pasting. We are not giving legal advice whether it's okay to play for money. Please check the laws in your area. And even where permitted by law, we've gotten kicked out of some venues that didn't want us playing for money. There are other things about playing for money, including a pie, which is a limit for how much your group could lose. Wall games, sometimes there's house rules about playing into a kitty if no one wins. And we've also done other videos about playing with a bettor. If you want us to go into more detail about any of those, comment below. Here's the visual we were talking about. This goes through all the different situations we just discussed. And now we're on for Hand of the Day. It's a unique hand, number 4 in the 13579, a fixed section. You have a Kong of flowers, a Kong of ones, and a Kong of nines, and those are in the same suit. And then the product, the 10, is in a second suit. So you could use BAMs for the 1 and the 9 and cracks for the 10, or BAMs for the 1 and the 9, dots for the 10, or any other combination of those two suits. It's a very creative hand. The white dragon is being used as a 0, and it's not a year hand. It's also an example of one of the very few hands that have Kongs of flowers on this year's card. So there's 1 in 2025, 1 in 2468, 1 in any like numbers, 1 in consecutive run, this one, and then 1 in winds and dragons. So if you see an exposure of a Kong of flowers, you know that they are limited, if they're doing a correct hand, to any one of these hands. Are you ready to learn to play? Mahjong is everywhere. It's taking over your Instagram feed, your TikTok feed. It's your turn to learn. We're hosting a virtual class to make it easy for you to learn from the comfort of your couch. You could scan this QR code or register on the My Jewish Learning Teachable link. Any questions, send us an email at modernmahjong@gmail.com. And we have a lot of other events, registration opening soon, and they're sure to sell out. So come to modernmahjong.com to register for our newsletter so you don't miss out. If you play Canasta, we invite you to register for July 9th. We're having a free Zoom. We're going to be playing real Canasta online, and we're going to have a chance to win exciting prizes such as our book and a 30-minute private strategy session on Zoom with either Dara or Donna. So we hope you go to bit.ly/Canasta Cruise to register. What would you like us to discuss in our next daily Talk of the Tiles? Comment below or send us an email to modernmahjong@gmail.com. As you could tell, we don't gatekeep all this important information. We want players to be able to play with confidence and elevate their game. So like, comment, save, and share so you could find us later. And with that, we hope you have a great day and a great game.